I still remember the day Marcus Vale saved my life. The hospital room was white and sterile, but his eyes were warm when he promised he'd always protect me. I was just Eliza Parker then, broken, grateful, and utterly enchanted by the man who pulled me from the wreckage when everyone else had given up. How could I know that 5 years later he would stand in the doorway of our burning home, watching me scream for help, his expression cold as stone. "Please, Marcus," I begged, flames licking at my skin. His only response was to whisper her name, Vanessa, the woman I once called my best friend, the woman who'd stolen everything from me. The doctors said I was lucky to survive with only these scars, but they don't understand what it means to be saved twice by fate and abandoned twice by love. Now I watch from the shadows as Marcus and Vanessa build the life that was supposed to be mine. They don't know I'm alive. They don't know I've discovered the truth about that night, about the company we built together, about the millions that disappeared, about the real reason Marcus pulled me from the first fire, but left me to burn in the second. They believe their secrets died with me in those flames. But ashes have a way of rising. And as I stand in Vanessa's beautiful home, wearing the face that extensive surgery has given me, serving champagne at their engagement party as Claire, their new household assistant, I can see the faint recognition in Marcus's eyes. Does some part of him sense the woman he once loved? Or the woman he tried to kill? It doesn't matter. I've spent 18 months planning this reunion. By the time they realise who I really am, it will be too late. Because this time, I'm not the one who's going to burn. The house caught fire, and my firefighter husband called everyone to go save his suicidal first love. I didn't call him. I just watched my carefully decorated home burn to ashes. In my past life, he answered my call first and came to save me while I was pregnant. His first love had a mental breakdown and jumped from the 18th floor, left unrecognisable. My husband always said he didn't regret saving me and the baby, and we went ahead with our wedding. But on our wedding day, he broke my leg and forced me to kneel at his first love's grave. The house fire wasn't even that big. "Rose, you did it on purpose to keep me away from her," he said. "I couldn't even see her one last time. Daisy was so kind. Why wasn't it you instead?" When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day the fire happened. This time, since he wanted to save his first love, I let him. I decided to give up. Thick smoke surrounded me. I coughed a lot and quickly took out my phone to call the fire department. The voice on the other end was one I knew very well. "Sister-in-law, Owen said you'd call. Didn't expect you actually would." It was my fiancé, Owen's comrade and best friend, Finn. "Finn, there's a fire at my place. Could you send someone over quickly?" Just as I spoke, the wooden wardrobe cracked and collapsed from the fire. The burning wood touched my skin, and the searing pain made me gasp and wince. In this urgent situation, Finn's tone was light, completely ignoring what I said. "Sister-in-law, stop acting. Owen told me you'd be jealous because he went to save his first love, so you're making a false alarm. Honestly, there aren't many people left on the team. Quit messing around. There's a real life or death situation over here. You and Owen are about to get married. Imagining things like this isn't good for your relationship." The fire grew stronger. I couldn't focus on Finn's lecture anymore and hung up. I couldn't care less what he thought. Gazing at the house that held 5 years of memories with Owen, I sighed, resting a hand on my lower belly. I didn't expect to relive this moment. In my past life, this fire also happened. Back then, I directly called Owen. He rushed over with his team to put out the fire. His first love, Daisy, called him over 10 times, but he didn't hear it. Later, we found out that Daisy had a breakdown that day and jumped from the 18th floor. Surviving the ordeal, I clung to Owen, crying while he said he didn't regret saving me and our baby. Our wedding happened as planned, I wore the wedding dress I had dreamed of and thought we were starting a new life together. But then he hit me with the harsh reality. Owen broke my leg. My wedding dress was stained red with my blood, but he didn't care. He drove me to the place where Daisy jumped, forcing me to apologise at her grave. I didn't understand what I did wrong. Owen was my fiancé, the father of my child. Why was saving me his mistake? Owen didn't care. His eyes were red like a madman mourning a deep loss. The fire wasn't even that big, Rose. You kept me away on purpose, and I missed seeing her one last time. If not for Daisy's diary, I wouldn't have known how evil you are. Her depression was your fault too. Daisy was so kind. Why didn't you die instead? I had no idea what he was talking about, but Owen had truly lost his mind. Now you'll know what it's like to lose someone you care about. My screams didn't get any sympathy. He dragged me like a dead dog into a dark room. I begged him to let me go, questioning what our years together meant. Owen was unmoved. He even poured gasoline in the room. My last memory was him looking down at me like we weren't newlyweds, but enemies with a blood feud. He took out a lighter, igniting the gasoline. Thinking about spending those 5 years with a woman as evil as you makes me sick. Didn't you like pretending the house was on fire to get me home? Now, you'll really know what it's like to be burned alive. Burning to death is pain beyond words. I still can't forget the excruciating pain that cut to the bone. Now I was again facing the threat of burning to death. I thought that, by not calling Owen, I wouldn't repeat the past, but he was ruthless, telling his team I was faking it. My belly throbbed like the child inside me was reminding me how heartless this man was. I had been with Owen for 5 years. This house, we bought it 2 years ago as our marital home. It was an old complex, not very big, but I didn't mind. We were just regular working people, and owning a place in this pricey city was a big achievement. My parents passed away early. All I ever wanted was a happy family. In moments of passion, Owen promised many times he'd make me happy. I really believed him. Every piece of furniture in our home was chosen by us. I lovingly cared for the flowers on the balcony. I nurtured this place with love, making it into the cozy home I imagined. But like the suddenly aging electrical wires, our relationship had long been plagued with problems. In every seemingly ordinary day, there were hidden dangers. I calmly took out the photo album that meant so much to me. It held pictures from every moment of the past 5 years with Owen. He used to joke about passing it down to our kids someday. But in just one moment, that paper album became ashes in the fire. The flames got fiercer, consuming the wooden bedroom door, the bed and the curtains, rushing towards me. My only escape seemed to be the window. I quickly climbed out, standing on the air conditioner unit, gripping the scorching hot window frame. I knew the danger wasn't over. Here I was on the 5th floor. It's not really high, but being pregnant, falling could be disastrous. A crowd started gathering below, mostly neighbours I recognised. "Hold on tight! Don't let go!" someone shouted. "We called the fire department!" Even if some of these folks barely knew me, they were genuinely worried for my safety. But Owen, who's been with me for over 5 years, showed no concern. I let out a bitter laugh, realising what it means to trust the wrong person. With all the calls coming in, Finn at the fire department eventually figured something was wrong. 1 or 2 calls could be a prank, but so many people calling, getting more frantic, made him uneasy. Most of the team got pulled away by Owen to help Daisy, so Finn couldn't even respond. No one was left to join him. My neighbours waited impatiently for the firefighters, but I was already getting shaky. My stomach hurt, making me pale and trembling. Blisters had formed on my hands, making it hard to hold the railing. As people gasped below, I finally lost my grip and fell. Suddenly, flashes of my early days with Owen came back. We met through a blind date and clicked instantly. We both avoided spicy food, loved movies, documentaries, plants, and pets. I thought we were perfect together and once believed he felt the same. He was attentive and even swore on my deceased parents' graves he'd always be good to me. Never did I suspect Owen had someone else in his heart. Everyone said he adored me, and I believed like a fool until Daisy, his first love, came back from abroad. That rainy night, she called Owen after we'd gone to bed, and he left despite my protests. Looking back, I should have realised how important Daisy was to him. Instead, I let him dismiss it by saying she had depression and needed him, as if Daisy couldn't see a doctor or get medication and had to rely on someone else's fiancé every time in the dead of night. I couldn't believe she had no ulterior motives. Yet, through Owen, Daisy added me on social media, acting like they were innocent, fearing I'd misunderstand. But her so-called innocent photos spoke volumes. Movie screens, Owen cooking for her, him sleeping, and their hands clasped. We fought countless times over her provocations, but each time Owen would just rub his temples, treating me like I was irrational. Rose, I'm really tired. I just don't want her to harm herself. There's really nothing between us. Can you stop with this now? Seeing how he reacted after her death in my past life, there's no way there was nothing. He would even go so far as to jeopardize our child's life for Daisy. Living again, pushed to the brink by him. I have no illusions. Owen never loved me. I chose wrong. I survived by luck as I fell. Some caring neighbours tried to catch me. They kept me from hitting the ground too hard, but even so, being pregnant, the impact was harsh. Blood was everywhere. When Finn finally arrived with some off-duty colleagues surrounded, I lay pale and burned, my white dress soaked in blood. Sis! Finn stammered, breaking through, flustered. What's this? Owen said you were faking it. The pain drained my energy, leaving me breathless, staring coldly. You really just follow Owen blindly, don't you? Whatever he says goes. The neighbours too were furious. What kind of fire department are you? Totally irresponsible, nearly took a whole hour to show up. Yeah, what if the fire got out of control? That's on you, and she's pregnant, for heaven's sake. Doesn't look good. Chastised, Finn hung his head low, avoiding my gaze. He stayed by our side, heading to the hospital, repeatedly apologising. I'm so sorry. I didn't think it would turn out this way. It's my fault for trusting Owen too much. A nurse interrupted. Stop bothering her. Her condition is bad. Are you family? Finn shook his head. The nurse then added, You better contact someone. She might need a signature later. Panicking, Finn called Owen. The phone connected quickly. Hey, Finn, what's up? Probably wanting me to overhear, Finn turned on the speaker. Owen's voice sent chills down my spine over the noise, sounding like someone was crying on his end. Finn didn't notice. Straight up told Owen everything. Owen, there really was a fire. Rose jumped downstairs and is heading to the hospital. You better come. She might need a signature. Unexpectedly, Owen let out a scornful laugh, acting like he was in on some secret. Finn, how much did Rose pay you to help her trick me? Even if it was true, my place is just on the 5th floor. How could she even die from that? Owen was talking, and then another soft, weak female voice came through the phone. Sweetheart, is Rose in trouble? Maybe you should go be with her. I can manage being alone here. Don't worry, I won't jump again. It's just that living is really exhausting sometimes. The voice was clearly Daisy. Owen hadn't even hung up when he rushed to reassure her. Rose is just putting on an act. What could possibly happen to her? Come on, Daisy, don't overthink. I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay right here with you, okay? His voice was gentle, almost like he was soothing a child. Listening to him made me feel sick. He always believed whatever Daisy said, and with me, everything was just acting. Such blatant double standards. How could Owen think he was so innocent? Finn seemed a bit stunned too. Owen, this is your wife and kid you're ignoring to deal with your first love suicide drama. Have you lost your mind? Maybe he didn't want Daisy to hear, but Owen seemed to change his spot to take the call. He was clearly annoyed at Finn's accusation. Finn, who do you think you are talking to me like that? She's not really my wife. We didn't even register anything. If you're interested, go ahead and chat her up yourself. Finn felt like yanking him through the phone. Owen, you really are something else. I never should have trusted you. Owen replied with a mocking laugh. So what? It's not like she'd really die, being so afraid of everything. I'm just making her pay a bit of a price so she stops the drama. Anyway, I'm off to be with Daisy. Later. Finn wanted to keep yelling at him, but Owen hung up so fast. Finn almost smashed his phone in anger. Everyone in the car overheard Owen's cold words and looked at me with sympathy. I took a deep breath. Even knowing how heartless Owen was, a part of my heart couldn't help but ache a little. After all, it was 5 whole years of my life. I truly loved him once, even planned on building a family together. I gently touched my belly. Maybe it was motherly instincts, but the intense ache from before seemed to fade. Yet the medical staff's faces grew paler. The patient's blood pressure is dropping. Quick, prepare for resuscitation. When I opened my eyes again, it felt like a different world. I stared blankly at the white ceiling, struggling to recall everything that happened. My hand instinctively went to my belly, but it was now flat and empty. The heavy burden I once found exhausting was gone. I didn't cry, though I felt something itchy on my cheek. As I raised my hand to touch it, I found it damp with tears. Linda walked in from outside the room, saw I was awake, and quickly called a nurse. She took my hand gently and spoke with a voice full of sympathy. Rose, you're still young. There will be more children in the future. I didn't respond, but the way I withdrew my hand made my feelings clear. Linda's expression stiffened. We always had a good relationship, but she was still Owen's mum. Seeing my distant demeanour, Linda sighed. Rose, I know you've been wronged. You two have been together for over 5 years. I've seen it all. It's not easy with the wedding already set. I don't have a daughter, but I've always thought of you as one. None of us wanted this to happen. This time, Owen did go too far. When he gets here, I'll make him apologise, okay? I continued to say nothing, only staring up at the ceiling. After a long pause, I finally spoke. You always say you see me as a daughter, but if you actually had one and this happened to her, would you forgive that man? If my parents were still here, knowing how Owen treated me, they'd definitely never forgive him. Can you understand that, Aunt Linda? I was straightforward, and Linda was caught off guard, unsure how to answer. Honestly, if she really had a daughter, she wouldn't let her stay with someone like Owen, ignoring his own girlfriend and unborn child to be with his first love. Unbelievable. Thinking of Owen's behaviour, Linda was furious and took out her phone to call him again. Where the heck are you? Didn't I tell you Rose is in the hospital and needs you? Owen casually replied, Daisy hurt her foot. I'm getting it checked out. It's not like Rose is dying. What's the rush? His attitude made Linda fume. Rose had a miscarriage and you're out with someone else. Get over here now. Miscarriage? How could she miscarry? Come on, Mum. You're joking, right? Owen sounded like he'd just heard a hilarious joke. All right, Mum. I'll be over later. First Finn, now you. What did Rose do to put you under her spell? He muttered as he hung up. An hour later, he finally showed up, but following right behind him was Daisy. Who else would it be? Daisy, in her pink floral dress, shrank back like a scared bird when she saw me, clinging to Owen's back. Owen, Rose is staring at me. It's terrifying. Owen immediately acted like a knight defending a damsel, shooting me a furious look. Rose, how many times do I have to tell you? Daisy is sick. Stop picking on her, okay? I almost laughed bitterly. Linda, frustrated she'd raised such a blind and clueless son, gave Owen a smack on the head. What did Rose do? She's lying in a hospital bed. You just went off on her without knowing the full story. Do you even realise she just had a miscarriage and is still recovering? Owen didn't respond immediately, just stared at me in surprise. Daisy seemed restless. What miscarriage? Rose had a miscarriage. It's all my fault. If I hadn't gotten sick, Rose wouldn't be in this situation because of me. Tears welled up, and soon she was crying. You got to hand it to Daisy. Her acting skills are something else. If only those highly paid actors had her talent, maybe their shows wouldn't get so much criticism. But some guys really do have a soft spot for this damsel in distress act. I saw Owen waver again, and I wasn't shocked at all. Instead of backing me up, he comforted Daisy. You can't blame yourself for this. The miscarriage was her carelessness. Besides, if she didn't give you depression in the first place, you wouldn't have harmed yourself repeatedly. Honestly, this outcome she brought on herself. I snorted, almost forgetting about this. In the past life, Owen claimed he saw in Daisy's diary it was me who made her depressed. Never made sense. I didn't even know her before I dated Owen. How could I possibly cause her depression? Hearing me laugh, Owen frowned, stepping closer like he was tossing me scraps. Fine, you're a bit upset, but is it really such a big deal? You kind of owe Daisy. You can have another baby after the miscarriage. Why am I even here? I flexed my wrist slightly. Owen, can you come a bit closer? I need to discuss something. Owen eyed me wearily, leaning in slowly. As his face got closer, I gathered all my strength and slapped him hard. Smack! The sound echoed, leaving the room dead silent. Owen staggered, face turned to the side, staring at me in disbelief. Never had he imagined I'd hit him. So coldly, as we locked eyes, his pupils darted nervously. My love and expectations for him had vanished into thin air. Staring at him, it felt no different than looking at a stranger. Owen, we're done. Instinctively, Owen tried to win me back, but as he opened his mouth, he laughed. Rose, what's this new game you're playing? You think I won't actually break up with you, right? I'm telling you, playing hard to get won't work on me. I gave him an icy stare. Owen was so confident. Truth is, I'd given him every reason to be. Each time we fought over Daisy, I'd give in, not wanting to end things. But he forgot my compromises were out of love for him and our unborn child. I compromised to build a happy home. Now the child's gone, a happy home isn't possible, and I don't love him anymore. Why on earth should I keep putting myself down for him? Think what you will, we never got a license anyway. The house we bought together, we paid for it equally, so pay me my share. Handle the wedding cancellations yourself. I'll give you the contact details later. After I said all that, I noticed the faint smile on Daisy's face behind Owen's back. She was secretly thrilled, though Owen remained oblivious, standing resolute. What's that supposed to mean? Over this, you really want to break up. Didn't you realise what I do? I just couldn't watch a life fade away, so I helped Daisy out a bit more. Why are you so relentless? After a deep breath, Owen added, Fine, you lost the baby. Consider it a peace offering to Daisy. I'll keep my distance from her, okay? That was probably the closest to a concession Owen had ever made. We fought endless battles over Daisy, and it was the first time he ever offered to stay away. Daisy, still enjoying her partial victory, looked uneasy. She frowned, ready to turn on the acting again when she met my knowing, amused gaze, and froze. I spoke slowly. Owen, there's something you got wrong. I don't have a thing for picking up trash. Also, you keep saying I owe Daisy. What exactly did I do? Owen's eyes went blank, then refocused with a scary clarity. After you started dating me, didn't you look into Daisy? Weren't you the one who sent emails urging her classmates abroad to bully her? If it wasn't for you, she wouldn't have gotten depression. Honestly, you owe Daisy an apology." Owen, thinking he was on the side of justice, spoke louder, but Daisy's face turned increasingly awkward. Caught off guard, her guilty stance made me laugh uncontrollably. "So who told you that I sent emails abroad? What could I have sent to make her classmates bully her? Owen, I don't even know. Do you think too highly or too lowly of me?" Owen hesitated, but then seemed to recall something. "I saw your sent emails. There was one sent overseas." Linda, silent until now, interjected, looking at Owen with disappointment. "I asked Rose to send it for me. Your aunt works at that school as a professor. Did you forget?" Owen turned pale. "No way! Mum, why would you email Aunt? She doesn't check her phone during work, just her computer. Didn't you know?" Owen never thought the truth would turn out like this. He stiffly turned, looking at Daisy, who was completely lost. "Didn't you tell me back then that it wasn't Rose's fault? That it was because you weren't good enough and made her feel insecure? So you just went along with my words and dumped all the blame on Rose?" Daisy didn't dare to look up at him. Owen grabbed her shoulders. "Speak up!" He was gripping so hard that Daisy let out a small cry of pain. She looked scared, with tears welling up in her eyes. "It was a misunderstanding, but I never said the one sending emails was Rose." She still tried to argue, but Linda couldn't stand by any longer. She made an overseas call to Owen's aunt to ask about Daisy. "Daisy, I know this student. Her stuff about dating 5 or 6 people at once got exposed, and those people were all taken. She was kind of infamous at school for that. Later, she got caught cheating on exams multiple times and then got expelled. Why are you asking about her?" Linda had the call on speaker. Hearing her own deeds being spilled all at once, Daisy broke down. "No, it's not like that. Owen, let me explain." She tried to grab Owen's hand, but he just shook her off. Owen gave a bitter smile as he glanced at me, still frail on the hospital bed. "Daisy, so you were bullied because you're a homewrecker, and yet you managed to blame it on others? I actually believed your lies, and it hurt my own woman and child." Seeing the disgust in his eyes, Daisy snapped, rushing to the window with one foot already outside, looking like she was about to jump. "Owen, you said you'd protect me. Are you regretting it now?" She had tears in her eyes, still looking all pitiful. But this time, Owen didn't feel any compassion like before. He looked at me with guilt. "Rose, I'm sorry. It was my fault. I was blinded by her lies and did so many things that hurt you. But I really do still love you. Can you give me another chance?" Before I could even reprimand him, Daisy screamed, having been ignored for the first time. "Owen, you said you love her. Then why did you sleep with me at my place the night before last? Are you just a jerk?" Owen flinched, not expecting her to reveal his secret like that. He was panicky, trying to explain to me, but saw that I looked completely unbothered, as if it wasn't even a surprise. I raised an eyebrow, my tone mocking. "You think I didn't know? Your sweet, innocent Daisy sent me photos every time. I told you long ago." Owen widened his eyes. Before, he could have claimed he was deceived, but with the truth out, he had no excuse. Facing my mocking eyes and Linda's disappointed glare, Owen knew his facade was utterly shattered. He was pinned on the pillar of shame. In anger and embarrassment, Owen turned on Daisy. "Even if I did sleep with you, wasn't it you who seduced me? You kept calling me over at night, wearing lace chamisoles, crawling into my arms. I'm just a hot-blooded man. Is this all on me? Why do you come running every time when I call? Don't tell me you don't know your own intentions." Daisy wasn't backing down either. The argument escalated, both of them eager to rip the cover off the other's shame. Daisy started by the window, initially trying to manipulate Owen into siding with her again through threats of jumping. But with the fight getting so heated, she lost her balance and slipped. "Help! I don't want to die! Help me!" She clung desperately to the window ledge, screaming for help. Everyone in the room was stunned. "Owen, don't just stand there! Save her!" I shouted, snapping Owen back to reality as he reached out to grab Daisy. But whether it was karma or something else, just a second before he could reach her, Daisy lost her grip, falling with terror on her face. A heavy thud, that's the sound of a body landing. All her previous threats of jumping ended with an actual fall. I took a deep breath, feeling neither satisfied nor regretful. After Daisy's fall, we, as witnesses, underwent investigation. Once it was clear she insisted on jumping, the cops even checked her medical records. It turned out Daisy wasn't suffering from any illness at all. Her depression was just one big lie. Owen was even more devastated, showing the police her cries for help and talks of jumping as proof. If she wasn't depressed, then all this was just fake. The police nodded. Based on my and Linda's accounts, they pieced together our tangled relationships. If Owen wasn't such a fool, maybe they'd have some sympathy for his deception. But now he got what he deserved. Without surveillance in the room, Owen couldn't prove his innocence. Daisy's parents hassled him for ages, even demanding $5 million in compensation. Both families caused a huge fuss for a long time. By the time Owen finally cleared up the mess, I had quietly checked myself out of the hospital. When he called, I was already on the train heading out of town. "Rose, where did you go?" I stared at the scenery outside, my voice steady. "What does it matter to you? Owen, we broke up already." Owen was getting anxious. "No, please don't break up, Rose. Give me another chance. We've been together for 5 years. We're about to get married. Rose, I'm begging you, don't leave me." I let out a sarcastic laugh. "Stop the act. If you were really that devoted, why didn't you think about me when you were tangled up with Daisy? I was pregnant and we were about to marry. Do you really think causing a miscarriage was the only thing you did? If things had been worse that day, I might not be alive. What makes you think I'd forgive you, Owen? I've told you I don't need trash, and in a past life I already gave my life for you." It was the first time I mentioned the past life in front of Owen. He was silent for what seemed like ages on the other end of the line, so long that I was about to hang up when he finally spoke. "Rose, I never expected you also reincarnated." "There are a lot of things you didn't expect," I sneered, and was about to cut the call when I heard him softly say, "I'm sorry." Sorry. The most useless 3 words ever. He hurt my baby and cost me a life thinking those empty words could win back my forgiveness. Dream on. After finding out I was also reborn, Owen actually left me alone. He didn't have the time to bother me anyway. Finn and those firefighter colleagues were fed up after learning what Owen had done. They reported him to the higher-ups for abusing his authority to save his ex, who was faking depression. Some nosy onlookers heard our fight in the hospital and posted a vivid account online. People just love drama, and Owen became an instant internet sensation, but everyone was just criticising him. Because of public pressure, the boss who once admired Owen and was only going to suspend him ended up firing him with a severe reprimand. He could never proudly wear that uniform again. As for me, I didn't get stuck on the past. After getting half the money for the house, I went back to my hometown to open a little dessert shop. Thanks to its nice decor and all the greenery, it became a local hotspot. I'm not rich, but I'm definitely doing well. A few years later, I bought a small 600 square feet apartment in town, living alone with a cat and a dog, more than comfortable. The next time I heard about Owen, it was Linda who called me, her voice shaky, begging me to see Owen one last time. Apparently, after he lost his job and broke up with me, his life fell apart. He developed severe depression, locking himself away and drinking heavily. A week ago, Linda and his dad dragged him out for a health check because of the drinking and erratic lifestyle. At just 30, Owen was diagnosed with late-stage liver cancer. Maybe he felt like a burden, or maybe, for other reasons, he drove Linda and his dad out and set fire to our old place. He was rescued, but it was the end of the line. "Mom, is it her?" I heard a weak voice on the phone. The next second, the phone was handed over to Owen. He was breathing heavily, like each breath was painful. "Rose, now I understand the pain. I'm sorry, really sorry. Don't come. I don't want you to see me like this." He rambled on until Linda realised I had hung up long ago. Getting involved with this stuff is such bad luck. Leisurely, I began watering the succulent I had just bought, full of life and hope. That's what my life is about now.